A very good day to our Ustazah Masita and my fellow friends. We are from Group 6 and today we will be presenting on different perspectives on the ethical use of AI tools in academic works. And my name is Lamung Shen. I am the group leader for Group 6. And I would like to introduce my team members. Harry Daniels, Ifan Mushid, Daniel Ahash, Umi Kalida, Aya Christina, Nordini Patricia, and Tangwan Yu. Each of us has contributed to different part of this presentation. So without further ado, we start our presentation.
Alright, so before going further, let me give a brief introduction of this research. This research focuses on the increasing use of artificial intelligence tools such as ChatGPT in academic work. Many students use these tools for writing, idea generation, and understanding complex topics, which making AI an important part of modern learning. However, despite its benefits, there are basically growing concerns about how academic integrity, ethical boundaries, and also over-reliance on these tools. So we choose this topic because students not only have different understandings of what is considered ethical use, but they also use AI in various ways depending on their needs and situations. And in addition, factors such as lecturer guidelines, peer influence, and workload can affect how students decide to use this AI. Therefore, this study aims to explore students' perceptions of ethical and unethical AI use, examine how they apply AI tools in their academic tasks, and also to identify the key factors that influence their ethical decision making.
For our research, we use a qualitative approach to understand different perceptions on the ethical use of AI in academic work. We collected our data through face-to-face interviews using a set of questions related to how people use AI, what they think is ethical or not, and what influenced their decisions. In total, we interviewed 7 respondents, which include 3 students, 2 lecturers, and 2 retired lecturers. We choose them using purposive sampling because they have different experience and perspective. After that, we analyzed the response using thematic analysis by looking for common patterns, like how aware people are about ethics, how much they rely on AI, and whether clear guidelines are needed. This method helps us better understand how different groups think about using AI ethically in academic work.
Next, I will explain the findings from the responses that we collected. So most students are already familiar with AI tools and have used them in their academic work, and many students use AI to help generate ideas, summarize notes, check grammar, and also understand difficult topics. The findings also show that many students are comfortable using AI as learning support, especially when it helps them to understand the concept better and work more efficiently. However, the responses also indicate that students believe it is quite unethical to submit work that is fully generated by AI without making their own changes. Some students are also unsure about how much AI usage is actually acceptable because, of course, there are no clear guidelines on how to use AI or how much limit from the institution. So a few respondents mentioned that academic pressure and heavy workloads, which causing students to rely more on AI tools. So overall, the findings show that students recognize the benefit of AI in learning, but they still believe that it should still be used responsibly and ethically.
Hello everyone. Our findings show that AI tools like ChatGPT are widely used by students to support their academic work, especially for idea generations, summarizing notes, and understanding complex topics. Most students believe that using AI as learning aid is acceptable because it helps improve their understanding and productivity. However, students also recognize that there are ethical limits when using these tools.
Many respondents agreed that submitting AI-generated work without modification is unethical and may violate academic integrity. At the same time, some students feel uncertain about how much AI use is acceptable due to unclear guidelines from institutions. In addition, academic pressure and workload may influence students to rely more on AI. Therefore, clearer policies and better AI literacy are needed to ensure responsible and ethical use.
Lastly, I will talk about the conclusion. To wrap up our presentation, let's look at the main points of our study. We found that while AI tools like ChatGPT and DeepSeek are very popular and helpful for things like generating ideas or understanding hard topics, we must use them carefully. Most students agree that using AI to help them learn is acceptable, but submitting AI-generated work without doing any of the work themselves is unethical and a violation of academic integrity. Because there is still some confusion due to lack of clear rules from our institutions, it is more important than ever to focus on AI literacy and better guidelines. Ultimately, this topic relates directly to the integrity and anti-corruption subject because integrity must always come first. We should use these tools to support our learning, not to replace our own critical thinking.
Hi, I am Dan. So, how do our project relates to KIAR? So our study that shows that AI tools are useful for learning, but how we use them matters. So if students submit AI generated work without editing, it goes against academic integrity. So this relates to KIA because it involves ethics, honesty, and avoiding unfair advantage. Academic pressure and unclear rules can lead to misuse, but it's still the student's responsibility to act ethically. So overall, the key point is that AI can support us, but integrity must always come first. Thank you.